Imagine this. You are standing in the middle of an ancient plain. Before you rises a creature as tall as a 7-story building, longer than a football field, and weighing as much as 15 elephants combined. How would you feel? That is Argentinosaurus, the colossal herbivore believed to be the largest dinosaur and, perhaps, the largest land animal ever to walk the earth. A true giant of the Cretaceous period. It lived more than 90 million years ago and left behind an unforgettable mark in the history of evolution. Unlike the ferocious T-Rex or the swift velociraptors that often dominate movie screens, Argentinosaurus was not a predator, it was a plant eater. But it was its incredible size that turned it into a legend. To understand why this dinosaur is called the unbeatable giant, we must take a journey back in time to prehistoric South America, where the ground shook whenever these titans appeared, the giant of the prehistoric plains. South America, 90 to 95 million years ago, was a world entirely different from what we see today. No bustling cities, no snow-capped Andes. Instead, there were vast open woodlands, endless grasslands, and a hot, humid climate. This was the kingdom of Argentina. Scientists estimate that these giants reached up to 35 meters, 115 feet in length, and weighed between 70 and 100 tons. Just imagine. A single thigh bone discovered was nearly 2.5 meters long, taller than a full-grown adult human. Its head, in contrast, was quite small compared to its massive body, but more than enough to strip leaves from the tallest trees. Its long neck stretched into the sky like a natural crane, allowing it to feed on plants that other herbivores could never reach. With such an enormous frame, every step left a crater-like footprint and sent vibrations through the ground. When a herd of Argentinosaurus moved together, the entire plain seemed to tremble. Standing next to them, you would feel like nothing more than a speck of dust. A gigantic diet. How could a body of such scale sustain itself? Argentinosaurus needed an astonishing amount of food each day, possibly hundreds of kilograms of leaves and plant matter. Unlike humans, it did not chew thoroughly. Instead, thanks to its massive digestive system, it swallowed leaves and twigs whole, letting its stomach do the hard work. Its menu was likely made up of conifers, ferns, and tender branches. With its long neck, Argentinosaurus could graze for multiple layers of vegetation, sometimes stretching high to snip treetop foliage, other times lowering its head to bite shrubs close to the ground. This advantage reduced competition with other plant-eating dinosaurs, but was there enough food to satisfy such hunger? The Cretaceous world was rich in greenery, with warm climates that encouraged lush growth. Herds of Argentinosaurus roamed across the land, migrating with the seasons in search of new food sources. These journeys may have stretched for hundreds of kilometers, similar to the way elephants today migrate for grass and water. Giants but not invincible. Although Argentinosaurus was so massive that few predators dared challenge an adult, that did not mean it was untouchable. Its greatest threat came from Giganotosaurus, one of the largest carnivorous dinosaurs ever discovered, measuring up to 13 meters, 43 feet in length. A single Giganotosaurus could not bring down an adult Argentinosaurus, but in groups, especially when targeting calves or weak individuals, they became deadly. Picture the scene, a peaceful herd of Argentinosaurus, feeding among the trees, when suddenly a pack of Giganotosaurus emerges from the shadows. Panic spreads among the young, while the adults close ranks around them for protection. A massive tail, swung like a club, could shatter the bones of a predator. Yet in the brutal world of the Cretaceous, defense did not always mean survival. Beyond predators, nature itself posed even greater dangers. Droughts, wildfires, floods, and volcanic eruptions could wipe out vegetation, forcing these giants to wander further afield in search of food and water, facing peril after peril. The survival of giants, like all dinosaurs, Argentinosaurus, reproduced by laying eggs. Surprisingly, their eggs were not enormous, despite the size of the adults. Each measured about 30 to 40 centimeters in diameter, larger than a soccer ball, but far smaller than one might expect from a creature of such magnitude. Eggs were laid in shallow pits or buried in sand, relying on natural heat to incubate. But the hatchlings were tiny compared to their parents, standing no taller than a turkey. This made them easy prey. Survival rates were painfully low. Hundreds of eggs might produce only a handful of adults. Yet thanks to large clutches and herd protection, the species thrived for millions of years. Traces of a Colossus Argentinosaurus became known to science in the early 1990s when fossils were unearthed in Argentina. Though no complete skeleton has been found, even a few bones revealed its immense size. One vertebra alone was as large as a small car. Fossilized footprints also testify to their scale. Some tracks measure more than a meter across, pressed deep into ancient clay-silent echoes of unimaginable weight. Compared to any animal that has ever lived on land, Argentinosaurus stands unmatched. What if Argentinosaurus lived today? Imagine if these giants had never gone extinct. A single Argentinosaurus walking through a modern city would crush roads and bridges with ease. It would require entire forests to sustain itself for just a few days. Even the largest zoo on Earth would never manage to feed or house such a titan. And yet, such an image fills us with awe. It reminds us of the sheer power of nature. Humanity can build skyscrapers and launch rockets into space, but we would still struggle to match the raw majesty of Argentinosaurus, primeval giant that once ruled the land. The end of giants. Argentinosaurus, along with most other known avian dinosaurs, vanished at the end of the Cretaceous, when a massive asteroid struck Earth. Within a short geological instant, an entire vibrant world disappeared. The mightiest of land animals fell silent, and the age of mammals began. Yet they never truly left us. Their fossils, their footprints, and the stories scientists reconstruct keep Argentinosaurus alive in our imagination. They remind us that Earth was once home to creatures so immense that they defy belief, living monuments to life, as ability to grow, adapt, and dominate. Conclusion: the biggest dinosaur ever is more than just a catchy title. It is the story of nature's grandeur, told through Argentinosaurus, the silent giant of South America. It is proof that our planet was once ruled not by predators like T-Rex, but by colossal herbivores whose size alone made them legendary. When we gaze at their fossils, we do not just see bones. We glimpse their struggles, their adaptations, their triumphs over time. We see the thunder of their footsteps, the sway of their tails, the power of life itself. And if we could travel back in time, perhaps we would stand at a safe distance, just to watch. To see the ground shake beneath their weight. To crane our necks as they raised theirs toward the sky. And in that moment, we would whisper the same words: "This is truly the biggest creature ever to walk the earth."